Morning. Look at these cutie patooties. They're all sitting around watching the F1.
Watching the F1 qualifying highlights from last night.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, had to reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99.
We decided to go to Alice, or start heading towards Alice tomorrow. We're thinking it's probably going to take us about a week at the pace we want to go. So we're just done a food stock take. We're going to head into town to the Roadhouse. They got a delivery yesterday of food. Apparently the truck came in, so we're going to go and see what we can get from them. We're just trying to top up on some fresh stuff to get us through for the next week, because there won't really be many other opportunities to shop between here and Alice. We're not that sort of keen to get out. We don't try and get out of camp super early, or at least we're not tomorrow. I'd rather give the kids a bit of a run around in the morning, get a few things done, and then travel sort of during the heat of the day and when the flies are at their worst. Because we're only probably going to go, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 hours up the road tomorrow. There is a bit to stop and see and do on the way, but yeah, if we leave sort of first thing, we just end up getting to camp a bit early, and then you're just sitting around with the flies. How'd we go for groceries?
Pretty good. I've got 2 bags, milk, yogurt, fresh fruit and veggies. There's a couple of things we couldn't get, but we just substituted. There's no potatoes. So the truck came in yesterday with all the groceries, and they're already out of potatoes and onions. Pretty good. It's $76 for 2 bags. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty reasonable.
The prices weren't ridiculous.
Yogurt was...
You right, bud? You jumping out?
Snake.
What snake?
Sorry, my
Okay. So I'm just gonna settle in tonight, have a pretty quiet one. I'm out of beer, so that's a bit sad. That's a bit tough, and beer's just a little bit dearer than I'd like to spend. Yeah, I don't really want to spend $90 on a case of beer. Good morning from sunny Birdsville. This is what we have to deal with, trying to get these guys dressed. Look, poor old Liz, she needs a shower.
I just want to have a shower.
She's half asleep. So what is it when we wake up on a day? I'm going to walk away. So when we wake up on a day that we're going to travel, we just want to sort of give you an idea of what that looks like. Now, last night I started to pack up most things outside. I try and collect all the kids' toys, put the chairs away, all that sort of stuff. Because even though it doesn't seem like much, that half an hour of an afternoon that takes isn't much. But the next morning, it's critical to getting on the road at a decent time. Otherwise, the whole pack-up thing, it seems crazy. Like, you got a caravan, you think there's no setup and pack-up, you just hook up and go, but it just doesn't work like that. There's always cleaning up to do inside. I mean, we just had breakfast, we just got out of bed, so we're going to make our beds, all get dressed, do the dishes, or have breakfast, do the dishes, clean and tidy up inside so that we can travel without things flying around inside the caravan. So everything's really got to be put away, and we like to make it clean and tidy. It just makes it a lot nicer when we get to the other end. I mean, I've got heaps to do. I can't help inside. There's so much to do out here. Go and have your shower, darling. Go and have your shower.
Excellent. Does that mean you...
I just got to tell.
Okay, wait. Yeah, no. Simon's finished outside, so in my books that means that he's got both kids and is going to head to the bakery and grab the bread that we need to grab.
I didn't say I was done outside. I was just about to tell everyone how much stuff I've still got to do outside. So because I did all that yesterday, I get to chill out this morning while Liz packs up everything up. Nah, just kidding. All I really need to do this morning is get the rig hooked up, get the Ranger hooked up, and all that connected, get it on the car. I then adjust the airbags, because we've often used the airbags to level the van at the site, so get them back to their road pressure, travel pressure, move forward, get the wheel chocks out, and then I'm pretty much done. Objective 1 this morning complete. That's get the kids dressed and get them out of the van so they can go and have a play. They can run off some energy, and it gives us a bit of space to be able to do the pack up. I just wanted to let you know, when I was doing the pack up, I thought I might let you know about this. These are those firewood bags that you buy firewood in at the servos and things like that. I like to hold on to a couple of them They don't take up much space when they're empty. You can fold them up, and they don't weigh anything, obviously. But I find they come in really handy. Like, I use them to put dirty gear in. I put my camp ovens in them. I just put the ground mat in one. Anything that gets muddy or dirty, and I want to put it inside the van somewhere. I find those bags are really good. They're great rubbish bags too, especially if you're crushing cans and that sort of thing. Throw them in there and chuck them in your car. They're tough as, and they last ages. They're obviously not waterproof, so you can't put really wet things in there. But if you're ever buying firewood and you're getting those bags, I recommend holding on to a couple of them, because they do come in handy. So this is what the van typically looks like in the mornings, and this is why we sort of have to do a big cleanup before we, well, not a big cleanup before we go. This is why we have to clean up before we go. The kids' beds need fixing up. We'll get them in to help us with that. Liz has already done the dishes. There's stuff out everywhere, so obviously all this has got to be put away. Things on the table, things under the table, things all over our bed. So cupboard doors open and everything. So this is really all we do, is just get everything put away, cleaned up, and shut up, and then make sure that everything's latched properly, stowed properly, just so that we don't have too many dramas on the road. It's sort of a process we've developed over the last couple of months. What works for us, what doesn't, learning from our mistakes. You pull up and something's coming out of a cupboard, you realise you didn't latch it properly. So yeah, we've got a pretty good procedure now, and fingers crossed, generally it works out and we don't have too many dramas. So. Welcome to Bedourie. We have made it. That was a pretty good drive overall. Most of it was sealed, a lot more of it than I anticipated, and it looked there was sealing more as we drove through. They've just freshly sealed some sections, so by the time you get out here it might already all be sealed between at least between Birdsville and Bedourie. And it looks like on the map the next section as well to Boulia is probably mostly sealed. So we're going to duck into the pub. Go and have a beer, I think. Go and check that out.
They look shocked. They don't look so surprised.
Yeah, don't look so surprised. Yeah, we're just going to go in there, find out a bit about these springs that we might go and have a swim at, have a bit of a break, have lunch. We'll probably come back out to the van for lunch and yeah, just chill out for a little bit before we push on to camp tonight. That's about all I can tell you. We crossed the Air Creek a couple more times as we went along. There's water in it all the way, which was nice. You cross it the last time just before town here. So there's plenty of good camping, I think, along there. There's a good playground over the road here for the kiddies. This is the pub just here. And down at the back of the caravan park, which is just at the entrance to town on the south side, is out the back of that is where the hot springs are, which is basically a swimming pool. So let's go check out what these springs look like, eh? Yeah, Bedourie, that was a good little stop. Sort of took us by surprise a little bit, I think.
Yeah, there was an awesome playground. The swimming pool was there. There was an artesian hot spring that was like linked with the swimming pool. It was pretty, what's the word for it? Like it wasn't very natural. It was just
it was more of a hot spa.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Simon went to the pub for a few schooners. Much needed, I think.
There was no schooners. Tinnies only. No tap beer.
tinnies.
It was filthy. But it was still good. Nice ice cold beer. It'll do. We're going to keep rolling. Probably just going to try and do another 100 k's of Zavo and free camp somewhere. Just get out of town a bit, basically. There is a caravan park and stuff. Well, there's actually really 2 caravan parks, if you want to call them that, in Bedourie. They're pretty basic at best. There is power and water there. There is a public dump point on the way out of town. There's a good big servo there. There's fuel if you need it.
It's nice having, on travel days, it's nice having leftovers in the fridge, because I always make more the day before I know we're going to be travelling, because it doesn't matter what time we get in now, we just find a better spot, and we're not stressing about feeding the kids or anything like that. So leftovers on travel days is the way to go. Bit of traffic on the road.
We used to, when we were camping for weekends, we used to just buy, often our Friday night dinner, like the night you were getting there, we'd just buy those fresh pastas and a jar of sauce, pasta sauce, and just knock that up when you roll into camp. Quick and easy, you boil some water and you got dinner done. And it's I don't know, it's probably not that healthy, but it does the job and the kids eat it. That's the main thing. So
the other awesome thing that we started doing when we were doing weekends away, because we often wouldn't be able to leave till like 4 o'clock, and our kids sort of eat dinner around 5:30, is wherever we were going to be around that 5 o'clock time, if we were going to be near a town, we'd call ahead and order a pizza, actually a couple of pizzas, and then you pick up your pizza at 5, and then you've got leftovers the next day for breakfast. It's bloody amazing. So, and there's no dishes when you get there, so that's my hot tip if you're going away for a weekend.
I could go on pizza right now. I wish you didn't bring that up, because now all I can think about is pizza.
Looks like this little creek's going to be home for the night. It'll do us.
Right, this is camp for the night. We just pulled off the highway a couple hundred metres, pulled into this near this creek bed here. Out in the middle of the paddock, out the open. Oh, we sort of tucked in behind the trees, a bit out of the way. I am so tired. We're knackered. Kids are tired. We've just all been swimming. You know what it's like. Everyone gets tired. Bit of driving today. It takes it out of you. Tough life, eh? So, like Liz said, we got dinner already cooked up, leftovers from last night. So, dinner is just going to be a simple affair. Probably, I've got no beers. Still got no beers. So no beers tonight, but I already had a couple today at the pub. Yeah, just be bunking down pretty early, I think, tonight. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We're still in the middle of nowhere. Where are we going today? Boulia is for the first stop. That was a good little overnight camp. Nice and quiet last night. Still pretty quiet this morning. Bit of a late getaway this morning. We were in no rush, so it's about 9:30. We're just gonna head out of camp, head up to Boulia. Got to get fuel there, get some phone service there, and just make a plan. Hopefully we can get to this station tonight, just on the other side of the Northern Territory border. So we'll be turning at Boulia. We'll be starting to head west, which should be good, because this morning we've woken up to an absolute gale force wind coming from the north, and we've got to drive north. So we're going to be pushing into a pretty decent headwind, which knocks around our fuel economy no end. And when you're paying $1.70 plus a litre for fuel, that starts to add up.
The kids were absolute gems this morning. I don't know, I feel like some of our parenting has paid off. They woke up and played nicely with each other for the first time in, I don't even remember. And then we just played some educational games this morning, some chunking games where you put letters and sounds together. So I feel like we've accomplished a fair bit this morning. The kids have had their education for the morning and yeah, ready to take off.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
So we're chewing a bit of fuel with this headwind. It's really cutting into our reserves. So I'm kind of watching the distance to empty go on the tank almost like seconds in the day. So about 8 Ks ago, in the last 8 Ks it's dropped over 20 Ks. This distance to empty. So I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't actually know how far. We're guessing. We got our best guess how far we got to Boulia, and it's saying we got 73 Ks to empty. So I mean, if that's accurate, we're good. But it doesn't feel like it's very accurate. Like it's dropping much quicker than the Ks that we're going. So I don't know. We'll see how we go. I think we're going to get in by the skin of our teeth, but it's a lot finer than I would like to have it. But this is why we carry a reserve. I mean, when we left Birdsville yesterday morning, we had at least 150 Ks of range more than what we needed. And we've only driven about 300, 400 Ks, and we've burnt all that reserve. We're using the headwind that we're pushing into, we're using somewhere between 5 and 6 litres per 100 more than we would normally. So we just burnt through, at least 100 Ks worth of reserve fuel in the 300 Ks that we've done. We are filming, mate.
It'll be totally fine. Normally, Simon doesn't look stressed at all, and I'm normally the one panicking. And just years of training has made me relax. Me being stressed about Simon and his fuel and calculations. But I 100% trust. And worst case scenario, we unhitch, Simon drives in, gets fuel, drives back, takes an extra 20 minutes.
The only thing with that strategy is that we have to make the call at some point when that's going to be, to make sure that I've got enough fuel to get back into Boulia even without the van. So hoping at some point there's going to be a sign that tells us roughly how far we got to go, but they're few and far between out here.
What have you been doing in the back of the car? Reading stories? Yeah? Cleaning the toys? Harrison's been drawing. He's loving life. We've never really done drawing in the back of the car before. Mostly I think because we've been on such corrugated roads, and I think Harrison would just get ridiculously frustrated. But yesterday and today we've been on sealed roads, and he has been absolutely loving it. It's kept him busy for hours on end, which is an absolute win. If only we could keep James as entertained as we have Harrison, we'll be smashing it.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background. It's just stopped. My phone just started dinging, which means we're back in phone service range, which means we're probably not too far from town, and we might actually make it on fuel. We're down to 50k to empty. Hopefully we'll see what we roll in when we get into the servo, eh? But servo's definitely going to be the first stop. Well, the good news is we made it to Boulia. Nice looking little town so far. We only just rolled in. The caravan park's just on that edge of town where we came in. Fuel's $1.60 a litre, so that's handy. We got 38 k's to empty, but in reality, probably closer to 25 k's to empties. We're going to grab some fuel, and then we're going to find somewhere to park for a bit, have some lunch. While we got phone service, I got a few emails to send, and Liz has got to ring her mum for her birthday. A few little housekeeping things like that. Going to ring ahead to this station that we're hoping to stay at, and yeah, so make sure they got room for us and get an idea of what the road's like. So I'm just checking this fuel map app like I always do, just seeing where we're going to be able to get fuel from here. So from here to Alice is 820 k's. That's probably pushing it for us for a tank, depending on how the wind is and things like that. But there are a couple of stations along the way. They're $2 a litre. Here's $1.60. So no-brainer is to fill it to the top as much as we can squeeze in, and then we'll just monitor our fuel usage along the way and decide where we're going to fuel up, where we're going to top up, and how much we're going to need to make it to Alice. Because obviously once we get to Alice, it's cheaper again. So yeah, just picking where we fuel up. But definitely it's a full tank at Boulia. $137.4 litres in the end.
How much?
$220.
It's lunchtime, so we've just been in the van. I've made some tuna, cucumber, tomato sandwiches, and now the kids are going to come out here and check out this playground. It's so nice. You stop in a country town and they have a decent playground for the kids to really stretch their legs on, especially on these long car days. So I think today we're going to spend about 5 hours in the car in total. So, you know, we stop for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And yeah, let the kids have a good play. They've been in the van playing with their Duplo and stuff while it's been really hot, but they're just going to come out now, get the last little bit of energy out, and then yeah, back in the car, strap in, and we're going to try and head to this station tonight, which would be nice. We'll have 2 days there.
Boulia supermarket is a little spa supermarket, like IGA, one of those independent ones, but yeah, decent little supermarket. I'd actually call it a little supermarket. It had aisles, which is not something we've seen in a shop for a while, but yeah, it's reasonable prices on most things. They had a good range of fruit and veg. All meat was frozen, but that's pretty standard out this way, and a limited range, I guess, of your like small goods, like your cheeses and your hams and things like that, but the rest of the supermarket well stocked. So yeah, probably not a bad spot to stock up. So we rang ahead to the station, and they're happy to have us. She said it's about 3 hours from here, so it might take us a little bit longer. It's just after lunch now, so we should roll in about 4 or 5 o'clock, but I don't know, it's a bit further than we'd normally drive, but unfortunately I've got to get Alice by the weekend because I've got work to do there. So I just need the internet, not specifically Alice Springs that I need to work, but I just need some internet. So it's just one of the challenges of working on the road or trying to run a business while travelling, but it is what it is. We're going to do 2 nights at the station just because we've heard it's a nice spot to stay and we need to slow down a bit and have a rest. So I'd rather punch out some Ks today to be able to have a day off tomorrow out of the car. So we'll stay at the station tonight and tomorrow night, leave the station Thursday morning, and 2 days then basically to get to Alice, so which should be fine. So we're going to jump in the car, get that punched out, do some Ks. Who's ready for a drive?
I am.
Yeah.
Called Mum, done my jobs, checked in with the world.
Oh, let's turn this music off.
Dad.
So the CD selection today is a like a version CD. So if you're a Triple J fan, you'll know what that means. If you're not, basically just a CD of covers of different bands covering different songs. Subaru, towing a camper trailer. They don't have radio. The wind's not very, what do you call it, consistent. The wind's not very consistent with it blowing the dust away, so we can get quite close to them, but then the wind changes and blows the dust cloud in our face and we can't see 50 metres. So, too dangerous in my opinion to try and overtake them. I can't raise them on the radio, so I'm not even going to try and overtake them. I think what we'll do is we'll just pull over and sit tight for a couple of minutes, let them get a bit clear, and then we'll just go a bit slower, so we don't catch up to them again. We're not in that much of a hurry. I'd rather get there safe and sound than push things. I don't want to sit in their dust and just suck dust up in the car. It just seems pointless, so we might just have a breather, might even get out, go for a walk, and just let them get a couple of Ks in front. If you're, one thing I will say, if you're travelling in the Outback, your HF radio is, I wouldn't say it's a must-have, but it's a bloody handy bit of kit to have, just to be able to communicate with other travellers. If you do meet up with other people, you can, you can talk to them as you're driving along. If you, in convoy, obviously, a no-brainer as well. But just for safety too, I think it's good to be able to talk to the trucks as well. I mean, if you caught up to a truck out here, you'd have no chance of overtaking them if you couldn't communicate, or it'd be very dangerous too, put it that way. So yeah, add a UHF to your car. They're pretty cheap. We have a handheld one as well. If you don't want to go to the whole hog, this is a 5-watt handheld radio. We've had this for years, but we like to have this because I can talk to Liz when she's out of the car, or vice versa. If we're backing into a site or four-wheel driving and I want to guide her through something, or vice versa. But yeah, if you don't want to do a full install in your car, a decent, get a 5-watt one, but a decent handheld radio, almost as good as having one in the car. The range is slightly limited with these, but you can still easily communicate with other travellers. So
I love this radio. Hang on, Simon just put it there, because I can reverse the caravan into a tight spot, because all I have to do is listen to Simon and tell him and do what he says. Like if he says left hand down, right hand down, that's easy. That's way less stressful than being behind the caravan trying to tell him what to do when I've really not the best person to be doing that.
Into the Northern Territory and the road's gone to crap. Crap. We were cruising at 80 k's smooth gravel. You probably could have done 100 if you were keen in Queensland. Crossed in the Territory and it's like the road just turned into a goat track. I don't think it's seen a grader for years. Someone was saying it's had a lot of traffic, but I mean, if this is like this, there's no reason why. If Queensland's like it was, there's no reason this couldn't be better. But anyway, we're only a couple of k's from the turn off now. We've made it into NT. State Territory number 6 ticked off. Well, not ticked off, entered. Oh,
the edge on that grid.
Crikey.
That was not.
Driveway into the station. So, what's it called? Tobermory, I think it's something like that. The road into the station anyway, their driveway is in better condition than the Plenty High. And grassy, plenty of travellers in here as you'd expect. It's not a huge place, probably, I don't know, the campground's probably about an acre. There's a little laundry facilities here, little camp kitchen, toilets, hot showers, playground for the kids, plenty of shade if you were staying a couple of days like us. And yeah, they're friendly, good little campground actually. So yeah, as we said, we're going to stop in here for 2 days, just to have a decent break, catch our breath, and yeah, then we'll probably set off to Gemtree by the sounds of it, and that way in a couple of days. Even dressed yet, James?
Yeah.
Look, Mum's getting cranky.
Yeah, well, that was your job to get him dressed up.
I'm going to get him dressed. Oh, crikey, look at that hair. Get a hat on, you maniac. You maniac. Don't let the world see you like that. I'm glad we made it.
Maybe we should cut this episode as a will we make it to Boulia? Leave the people in
Cliffhanger.
leave our friends in suspense.
You know what you call a cow on a hill, don't you? High stakes. Rather than just sort of having a guess, I guess. Oh, I guess. Lucky I think I'm funny.